You know, after seeing the Crawdaunt this episode, I really wish that Ash's Corpish would have evolved in Hoenn. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 123 of the Sun and Moon anime, titled Mastering a Z Move, Kiawe's Fierce Boot Camp just dropped, and in this episode, Sophocles is learning how to use his Z move that he got a couple episodes ago. Will he be successful? Well, let's find out. The episode begins in the Pokemon school with Lana using her primarinium-z while Mallow and Lily are watching. She's successful at pulling it off, and her friends congratulate her on mastering another Z move. After seeing Lana be successful at her Z move, both Mallow and Lily get inspired to practice and be able to pull off their Z moves as well before Kukui comes in. Lana tells him that she's practicing to participate at the Pokemon League, and he asks Mallow and Lily if they are going as well, to which, after the encouragement of Lana, both of them say yes. We then hear Ash in the background screaming before we cut to Sophocles trying to do his Z move in battle. Fortunately, he's not doing it properly and he fails. Afterwards, he's bummed out and he says that he simulated this on his computer and it worked perfectly there, but it's not working here. Kukui tells him that maybe instead of just analyzing it, it would be better if he practiced more, and Kiawe then invites him to his farm the next day to go to a boot camp where he can learn how to use a Z move. Ash is hyped as well and agrees to come to the camp, and the girls decide that they'll meet up in Lily's place to practice before Kukui wishes them all luck. The next day we're in Kiawe's place but far from his home, as both him and Ash have camping gear. Sophocles is surprised about this, and Kiawe tells him that they're trying to find a quiet place to practice. When Ash asks where they're going, Kiawe points them to a path with an altar. They get there, and Sophocles is already exhausted, but Ash and Kiawe set up camp, calling out all of their Pokemon. On the other side, Lana and Mallow are in Lily's house eating some snacks and drinking tea before getting back to practice. We then see the training montage begin, and Ash is fired up for everything. They start off with standing under a waterfall, where Kiawe tells Sophocles that he must become one with nature, and Sophocles struggles with this, as well as the next thing, which is rock climbing and log dodging. He asks Kiawe if there's another way to do this, to which Kiawe responds, no, he must become one with nature. He then asks Ash if he has any advice, and Ash doesn't really help him much either, which then causes him to snap. He tells both of them that while these things may work for them, it doesn't work for him, before saying he's leaving. However, when he calls back Togedemaru and Vikavolt to leave, he sees them practicing by themselves battling. Seeing his Pokemon try so hard inspires him, and he apologizes to Ash and Kiawe before saying that he's gonna try again, but he gets sent flying by the log anyway. It's evening and Sophocles is exhausted and upset that he can't seem to do it. He's also starving and wondering if they're gonna have to make their own food. Luckily, however, Kiawe told his mom and his sister to bring them food, which they do, so at least they don't have to worry about that. His mom asks how the training is going, to which Sophocles responds by saying that he has a long way to go before she gives them the food and heads off. It's later in the night where our heroes are sitting around a campfire and eating, when Pokemon are also eating, and there seems to be a scuffle with Marowak and Pikachu, with Marowak wanting Pikachu's food. However, Turtonator stops the issue, and Sophocles mentions how kind Turtonator is, almost like an older brother, and Kiawe tells him that he was always been like this ever since they first met while he was away from home on delivery. Who's that Pokemon? It's Crawdaunt! We see a flashback to when Kiawe first met Turtonator. It was in a fight with a Crawdaunt, and it was trying to basically stop the Crawdaunt from hogging a pond so that other Pokemon could also use it. And even though it lost over and over again, it kept trying over and over again. One day in his delivery, after a loss, Kiawe landed next to him and gave it a moo-moo milk before helping Turtonator train. While battling a Charizard, it learned Shell Trap, and it was able to use that to beat Crawdaunt before choosing to be partners with Kiawe. Ash comments on how both of them are so similar, and Sophocles wonder if that's what he's lacking. But Togedemaru and Vikavolt come up to Sophocles and reassure him that they still like it. Rotom wonders why they still can't seem to do the Z move, and that's where we leave it, with Kiawe stroking his chin with an idea. Later at night, everyone else is sleeping besides Kiawe, who's not there, who from the outside asks Rotom and Turtonator for their help to do something. We cut to the next morning where we're by the lake where Kiawe met his Turtonator. He tells Sophocles to go grab some sticks while him and Ash go somewhere else and do something else. It's not important. We then see them hiding behind some trees in the distance while Sophocles is picking up some sticks. Ash asks Kiawe why they're hiding in the trees, and he tells Ash to just watch. That's when we see the Crawdaunt from Kiawe's story appear from the lake. The Crawdaunt attacks Sophocles, but is stopped by Vikavolt. Ash says that they have to help him out, but Kiawe stops him, saying that this is Sophocles' first serious battle, which he needs. Crawdaunt uses Aqua Jet, and Sophocles uses Discharge from Vikavolt, but it dodges. Sophocles then tries to slow its movements down by using String Shot, but it just deflects that. Then it hits Vikavolt with a really hard Crab Hammer, and it looks like Sophocles is gonna give up, but Vikavolt keeps fighting, which inspires Sophocles. It's in the ground getting hit by Crab Hammer over and over again when Sophocles gets an idea. He has Vikavolt use Signal Beam on the ground to send itself flying up in the air before using Discharge. After hitting the discharge, his Z-Ring starts sparkling. He looks at it, contemplates a bit, and decides to go for broke as he uses his Z move, the Savage Spin. This is a really brutal looking Z move too, and he's successful with it. Afterwards, he celebrates with his Pokemon before Ash and Kiawe also come up to him to congratulate him as well. As they're talking, it looks like the Crawdaunt is running behind Kiawe ready to attack him before it stops, and him and Kiawe fist bump, which surprises Ash and Sophocles. Kiawe explains that after the Crawdaunt lost, it mellowed out, and that the previous night he had set up this fight to help Sophocles train. For helping, he gives the Crawdaunt a citrus berry, and we see the other Pokemon from Kiawe's flashback appear as well. Sophocles asks Kiawe why he didn't tell him about this, when Kiawe tells him that if he did, he wouldn't be able to fight in full power, which he knows is true. Regardless, Ash tells him that he's perfected his Z move, which makes Sophocles excited, before being promptly unexcited when hearing that they're going to be practicing this all day. And that's the end of the episode. The after credit scene is Turtonator and the Crawdaunt and the other Pokemon in the lake just talking and laughing. The animation for Lana using the primarinium-z, as well as Sophocles' Z move, they're both very dynamic, the angles look great, and the moves itself look great. And although we already knew it, it's a great confirmation to have that both Mallow and Lily will be participating in the league. I never used a bug Z move in the game, so I didn't realize how brutal it looked, so I'm kind of surprised that they actually showed this in the anime. Like I said in the previous video though, I like these types of training episodes. My biggest gripe with this was that it felt more like a training for Kiawe instead of Sophocles. He was the one doing everything while Sophocles wasn't, which is unfortunate. And I don't like to complain about things like this since it's a kid's show, but at one point, Sophocles' whining gets very excessive and annoying. When he got over his fear of darkness in episode 119, I thought he'd gotten past that. Now, granted, a Pokemon battle is a completely different thing from racing, but I'd really hope the writers would have instilled more confidence in him after that episode, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be the case. But maybe this episode will be the catalyst for that. Also, I wasn't really expecting to see the girls train much, but I was really hoping that they would just cut away a bit more than just once to show how their training was going. But this episode was meant to focus on Sophocles, so I guess they didn't want to push the other girls. However, I'd argue that this episode didn't go far enough in that. It could have been much better if they solely focused on Soph, because this really did feel like a background to Kiawe's story of how he met Turtonator. Although I am glad to see how Kiawe met Turtonator. We've now seen the other members of our heroes and how their Pokemon came to be, so I'm glad we got to see this one as well. The only one left, I believe, is Togedemaru and Sophocles. Speaking of which, I really like his Vikavolt. It's a star Pokemon, and I like the fact that it knows a bug type move now, which makes it more of a threat in the league. Not only that, but it's a Pokemon that gives Sophocles confidence and allows him to be better. My prediction that he's going to lose in the first round or be one of the first ones out still stands, but I think that his battle has potential, especially since it can fly around and use String Shot to zoop around places. We kind of saw that in the race, and I'm interested to see if they'll use that type of stuff in the league. Overall, I like this episode. In terms of plot, it was a great vehicle to have Sophocles learn how to use his Z move, and it works. My biggest thing is just the complaining. It can get a bit annoying, but you have to accept that it's a part of his growth as a character, so I shouldn't complain too much about it. It also contains Lana's Z move, which looks great, and Sophocles' Z move, which also looks great, so I'd say give it a watch. You might like it. The next episode is titled Perfect Sharpness, Kartana has arrived, meaning that it's going to be an Ultra Beast episode. What I'm most curious about though, and this is dangerous and why I need to stop looking at these afterwards preview, is that the preview shows Rayquaza and Deoxys fighting in space, and I already know that people on social media are really hyped about this. But since the rest of the preview is more on Alola, I'm inclined to believe that that's only going to be a very small part of the episode and it's not really going to have an overall impact on the episode. But maybe I'm going to be wrong, who knows? Ultra Beast episodes are kind of hit and miss, but this episode does look pretty good on the preview, and it has 2 more legendaries coming out. So it'll be interesting to see how things go. But anyways, that's it for my Pokemon Sun and Moon 123 review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, drop that like button on my video. It really does help me out. Comment below what you thought on the episode, share, subscribe if you like my content, and that's it. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealPDGaming, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.